Hey everyone, I'm Charting Man Dan. I've been a full-time trader for over 13 years. We're going to check in on the markets with the first day of Q2 2024. Definitely a good bit of red out there in financial, healthcare, IWM, but a little bit of green in semiconductors, QQQ, and some headlines in cannabis that we'll check in on. Let's get to the charts. So SPY just missed the all-time high by a few pennies. My line in the sand for complete control. Let's keep it simple. If 518.40 is support, the bulls don't have anything to worry about. If we lose that level, we lose the daily uptrend. We have not lost the daily uptrend in a couple of months, at least a month. So that is as simple as it can be. Don't even have to think about a bear unless that level breaks. We've been riding daily EMA 12 support, and again, no red flags unless that level breaks in the short term. QQQ, a little bit weaker overall. It was a daily bull flag attempt trying to confirm, but we did see a good bit of profit taking on the morning and a bounce attempt into the end of the day. But same deal, we're looking at that recent low of 441.93. And we have a line in the same short-term resistance. Look at this top from the last few days. We topped out at 447.49, 45 in extended hours, and then 53 today. So that's three tops in the last 6 days, all within a 4-penny range of each other. So that is the key resistance. And you can see support here, a couple bounces down there. So that's just a sideways channel that we are chopping around within. And again, the NASDAQ overall a little bit weaker than the S&P 500 just because it hasn't tested that all-time high like SPY did today. But it is still holding on just fine as long as 441.93 is support. And we'll talk about semiconductors in just a moment. But first, cannabis. So big headline. We have the Supreme Court of Florida saying, yeah, you can vote on recreational in November. So we need 60% for it to pass. But there are a few Florida-centric companies, TCNNF, AYRWF, VRNOF, etc., where they will benefit massively if Florida goes recreational to the tune of, easy 100% gain, probably 1 to 200% gain in those names if recreational passes in Florida. Now we have to wait 7.5 months, but at least the first sign of some actual concrete good news recently in this sector. And so we've been watching CGC, which is on the Canadian side. And again, it's benefiting from this headline a little bit, but just been loving the volatility here. We knew that we were starting to shape up daily consolidation Thursday. Talked about that in the weekend video. As soon as we broke 813, we knew to be patient and wait for hourly oversold conditions at that point. We came very close to hourly oversold today. Didn't quite get there. I made a couple bounce attempts and, stopped out, break even on a bounce attempt, and then got one here at the end of the day with a little bit of a win. So nothing notable, but, a little half-day maker win at the end of the day. And you can see after hours, a little bit of a bump up. The CEO is going to be on CNBC talking to Kramer. And the hourly downtrend is our guide, knowing that the bulls must regain the hourly trend if a daily higher low is going to be set. So no major red flags on this consolidation at this point, but enough of a pullback this morning for us to say, yeah, temporary top is set for now. Let's see what the retracement size looks like. The U.S. side is the names that are going to be benefiting more from this Florida headline. Strongest close on MSOS in a very long time. Nope, take that back. We did close 1037 here. Second highest close in a very long time. That's the second highest close in about 14 months. So we're testing 1064, and after hours, a little bit of upside, but not surprising. The bears are going to defend 1064 here. I was real tempted to sell into that little pop, but again, I got a core swing position. I got to keep swing mindset on that position and not let these little 5-minute moves sway me. But if we break 1064, the next level we're looking at is up to 11 psychological. And again, that would be a big win to get to 14-month highs. Trulieve is, again, the #1 player in Florida. There was a run-up on the day. There was a sell-off into the end of the day. But again, relative strength has been pretty consistent here. And that was the reason that I switched my core position to more heavily weighted towards Trulieve. That said, I did take some profit today. Reason being, I wanted to protect. Again, if I'm going to be making mistakes, it's leaving money on the table. It's not giving profit back. So sold half of my position. I forget exactly where I grabbed it, somewhere in the 9s and 10s. I forget. But down to a half position, I've got cash now, and that just made me really comfortable rather than going with a full core position of MSOS and TCNNF into an unknown news event. I played it a little bit protective, and so we'll see when I redeploy that capital, but going to be patiently watching MSOS 1064 tomorrow. That's going to dictate a lot in the short term, whether or not we're able to break that level. Tesla, I'm keeping an eye on this potential long-term falling wedge. Bit of a lower wick on today's candle. Technically a daily uptrend, it's just not an impressive one at this point. Anything above 166.30 is a daily high or low, but the weekly bounce is still a potential bear flag. So bulls need to get over weekly EMA 12 for a significant longer term bounce. And of course, earnings are now in a couple of weeks, and it may be earnings which dictate the direction that we're going to break this falling wedge. But it is a daily uptrend trying to set a higher low. And the semiconductors started the morning really strong, but then saw a significant fade with many names like NVDA giving it all back. But overall, simple statement, SMH bulls don't have anything to worry about if 221.49 is support. We knew daily higher lows were the most likely result of this consolidation on names like NVDA and MU. Daily bull flag confirmed, new all-time highs. MU was easily the strongest semiconductor name I was watching today. SMCI daily higher low is set. So semiconductors overall still keeping control as long as those daily higher lows can hold now. And so that makes the low of last Wednesday important short-term supports for the semiconductor sector. The other major sectors, again, the inverse relationship between the markets or the major sectors is still very clear, where we start the morning with IWM strength and XLF tests the all-time high by 2 pennies, and QQQ opens after pulling back all pre-market, and they just did this the first half hour of the day. And again, if I'm a longer-term bull or a broader market bull, I like that. I like that everything is not dropping together. There was some weakness at times, but we didn't hit the moment where all major sectors hit the low of the day at the same time. And so, today we've got QQQ and semiconductors green, and we've got XLF, XLV, IWM all red. And those are the two teams that the market has been divided into. And, sometimes they both go up together, sometimes they both go down together, but far more often than not, it is inverse action, tag team action, and one takes a move up, then it takes a breather and consolidates sideways, the other plays some catch up, and that's what's keeping the market strong. And so again, simple statement, if XLF is holding 41.26, there is nothing to worry about. The bulls have been holding daily EMA 12 support for 5 weeks in a row now. Daily consolidation underway, but it's just a very clear uptrend. This entire way is a very clear uptrend. So that has to change if anything's going to change. XLV had a pretty significant pullback today. Same deal. If the bulls can hold 145, they keep control. We're coming off the all-time high from last Thursday. It was a big pullback day. There was a gap to fill at 145.94. We filled it to the penny into that bounce. But we'll see. Can the bulls form a daily high or low in all these major sectors, because they are all uptrends at the moment, and we'll see if that remains the case. IWM, anything above 204.99. That was a base from last week. You can see the bears tried to knock it down, tried. Clear base of support into continuation. We hit new 2-year highs to end last week. Big pullback today, same deal. Can we form a daily high or low and keep the uptrend going? I will be watching, if we do see some weakness creep in here, I will be watching IWM for a short. I'm not bearish IWM, but I know if the broader market shows me some weakness, I will be watching this rising wedge on IWM, which has the potential to play out. So it's a big if. I need to see weakness in the major sectors to be looking for this to be a rising wedge. And I have to see the daily uptrends lost. So bears, proved a little something today on the short-term time frames for some of these sectors, but we really have to see it, last for days and the daily uptrends to be lost if anything's going to shift. The dollar, key resistance break, only broke it by 9 pennies or so, but the dollar did hit, DXY did hit the highest level that we've seen here in 4 or 5 months. 4 months. And it is, you could say this is the weekly equilibrium breaking bull. I'm not saying that yet because it's not a convincing break, but we're on the verge of breaking that weekly equilibrium bull. And you looking around, generally there's an inverse relationship between the dollar and the stock market and in crypto and in the metals. But there are some, SPY testing all-time highs today while the dollar has been going up for weeks is a good sign. Gold ripping to all-time highs while the dollar has been bouncing for weeks is a good sign. So we'll see if that continues. But gold, daily EMA 12, we've been riding up that for the last month plus. Again, follow through to the new all-time high, space for the daily higher low, back burners on the table. We're watching for first hourly oversold conditions to try and mark a daily higher low. I'm watching silver to try and act as a laggard. Silver is a potential weekly cup and handle. We have a very clear resistance zone where we topped out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 distinct times, and it is a potential weekly bull flag. So can silver get over this resistance zone and break out? I'm watching gold divided by silver to see if silver can gain some relative strength, and if we were to see that, it would look like another lower high here to continue tightening up. So gold is leading at the moment, but I'm watching to see if we get some rotation. And also the miners having a really good breakout. This was a GDX falling wedge type of pattern I was keeping an eye on. GDX is now testing 32.39 would be the highest level that we've seen in 11 months, 10 months, if that level were to break. Actually, it did break today. Broke it by a few pennies, not convincing. But again, this is just a glaring, blue sky breakout for gold. Silver, a potential laggard. Miners, potential laggards. The miners have 3 times leveraged ETFs, NUGT, JNUG. These are some nice potential swing trade opportunities. Again, looking for hourly back burner entries for continuation. If we see any daily consolidation, follow through, but definitely giving the metals a bit more focus from a swing trading perspective because of gold's blue sky follow through. Oil? I haven't looked at oil in a while. Still creeping on up. No monthly lower high yet. Still watching for it. There's a lot of space for it. Anything under 95, so that's still 12% away or something like that. So still going to be watching for a monthly tightening range, but the daily uptrend is our guide, and the bulls are keeping that control for now. I was watching this uptrend resistance line. Looks like we're right on it. Actually, I think I was watching that. Broke bear, no follow through. But the bulls still have control there, and we'll see if that monthly lower high shapes up sometime in the coming weeks. So overall, again, my focus just remains on cannabis, crypto stocks. They were big in red today with Bitcoin pulling back. But cannabis, crypto stocks, and semiconductors, I really don't need anything else as long as those remain volatile. And we'll see how long that remains the case. Definitely keeping an eye out to hedge my long exposure in my IRA with the fact that the S&P 500 is on weekly stair step number 13 now. And again, historically, there's only been a few times in its history where it's done more than that. But I am not going to be looking to hedge or protect or go bearish if we're in daily uptrends in all of our major sectors. Hope you had a wonderful holiday break, and we will see you soon. Don't forget to do good things.